Thanks to the HomeDepot Seed program, we're going to be looking at the Klein Tools Lineman'S Plier, or Lineman's Pliers, or just Kleins. This is model D201-8NE. So let's break it out of its blister pack. No tools required for that. First thing you'll notice is that it says made in the USA. Klein's been in business since 1857, originally starting out of Chicago. They are now a global manufacturer, so not everything with the Klein label is made in America. These, for example, are made in Taiwan. Good quality stuff. Just know that you'll pay a little bit more for anything that says made in the USA. Let's start by looking at the features of a Lineman's Plier. Starting off at the top, we have the nose, which is a blunt, flat, squared surface. This is followed by the important gripping surface, which is either straight grooves or diagonal crosshatch grooves. The outside of the head can be used for reaming. We have the all-important cutting knives. These are usually hardened. Next to that is the riveted fulcrum, which keeps the tool from wobbling and also provides the leverage for cutting and gripping. Finally, we have the handles, which can be bare, coated, or electrically insulated. First impressions are it's a hefty tool at just under 1 pound. It's got a comfortable coated handle. Although it's not electrically insulated, it is just built for gripping and comfort when cutting. The jaw does not close when you look at the front of the nose. It also looks a little bit uneven, but I think that's just an optical illusion from the way they ground the nose there. Maybe Klein needs to pay a little bit more attention to that. The reason the nose does not fully close is because the blades come together, and that's not untypical of some lineman pliers. With these costing at least 3 times as much as the cheapest, what can you really do with this tool? You can cut wire. You can twist strands together. You can twist wires together. Use them to bend metal. You can use it to bend cable. You can use it to straighten out cable. Cut screws. Make sure you have the nut on it so that you can clean off the rough edge. But actually, for screws, I'd rather use a tool that's designed for just that purpose. Because this goes in a thread. The end is cleaner, and you're not going to have issues with getting nuts on and off. While it can be used as a wire stripper, it's probably not the best application. You can also use it to remove nails. When using a lineman's plier to pull out a nail, sometimes the regular head, which is angular, is better than the New England head because the angular sides act as a fulcrum, giving you greater force. Due to the heaviness and the fact that it's solid, some people actually use these as hammers. Well, not with that tool. These are all the wrong ways to use a lineman's plier. With its sure grip jaw, it's great for either pulling fish tape or pushing it into a conduit. You can use it to push wire, or you can use it to pull wire, to bend wire at a right angle. You can even use the gap behind the fulcrum to create a 90-degree angle. And staples. Here's 12-2 cable, 3 solid cores of 12 gauge. Let's see how well it does. It takes a lot of pressure to cut through that cable. Yet, using the same cable and a pair of wire cutters, I can achieve the same results easily. Why is that? It all comes down to physics. The fulcrum on this tool is much closer to the edge, only 4 millimeters away, versus the Kleins where it's almost 8 millimeters away. Thus, even though this seems to be a smaller tool with a lot less handle to apply force with, the fulcrum gives it the advantage to be able to cut through that cable. Therefore, Lineman'S pliers aren't always the best tool for cutting thick cables. Due to the enormous forces generated during cutting, it's always wise to wear eye protection, aim away from people towards the ground. Otherwise, this can happen. A little precaution will avoid injuries. It's a versatile tool, but is it really worth 3 to 4 times the price of the cheapest Lineman'S pliers that I can buy? Well, what do you get when you buy the other ones? Well, here's a tool that I've had for in excess of 30 years, and when I bought it, it was probably maybe $6 or $8. It's foreign made. As you see, the finish is peeling off. But what's more interesting to note is that there's almost no grip, and the grooves are almost imperceptible here. And that's not because they've worn off over the years, it's because they just never really existed. Cutting edge, dulled fairly quick, and it's just been laying around in the toolbox because if I don't have a hammer that's handy, this one's okay to bang around with. Here's a channel lock. It, like the Klein, does not close fully because of the blade. Here's a Craftsman, no longer made in the US. Its jaw actually does close shut, and there's also a grip on the back side for pulling fish line, which is nice. The channel lock also has a groove. So these are not your cheap tools, and they get the job done. So why should you pay even more for the Klein? You're getting a quality product with a lifetime warranty, and tools are really an investment. Good tools are an investment. This is not an investment. This is a throwaway, disposable. If you're only doing one project, then maybe this is the tool, though you may be dissatisfied because it's got a poor gripping edge, the blade dulls very quickly, it's loose, whereas these, especially the Klein, are not loose at all. This has a slight play in it, and the channel lock has a slight play in it. So for the additional cost, you're getting a product that's going to last and perform the way it should. Look at the grip on this. That's a deep groove, and it's on both sides, so it's always going to bite down, and it's going to last. Same thing with this blade. It's sharp, it's hardened steel. Is this tool worth the premium price? Well, if you plan on doing electrical work now and in the future, and you don't want to keep on buying tools or get frustrated or potentially hurt yourself by buying something really cheap, then this is a wise investment to make. It's a product from a highly regarded company, quality made, gets the job done, and will keep on getting the job done for many years to come. My only real complaint with this tool is that it's very stiff at this point, and I've added some lubrication to it, and it still takes a lot of pressure to open and close, but I'm hoping with usage this will smooth out. If you found this useful or interesting, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and a special thanks to our subscribers. Without them, you'd be seeing commercials in the middle of this video. So become part of the team and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching.